Welcome back. It's Wednesday, and it's Wednesday all day. You are on Big Game Hunters, showcased on Magna searchgroup.tv. I'm your host, Michael Flint, sitting here with Landon Hood. Today,
co-host Landon Hood.
Co-host Landon Hood. Today, we're talking about the top 10 interview questions you should be asking the next time you're sitting down with a prospective employer. It's important to be focused, on point, direct, and know the answers to these questions.
And show that you're prepared, right? You don't want to show up to an, just basically ask them to talk the whole time and be like, yep, nope. You want to basically show that you've done the research, that you are interested in the values of the organization, interested in where they see the roles going. So it's really important to come in and show that, you're a go-getter.
I agree with that. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Recruitment in particular, it's a two-sided conversation. And I think a lot of times the difference between being a job seeker and being a recruited candidate is sometimes the job seekers, they're so gung-ho. They want the job, they got to put food on the table. Whereas when you're being recruited, a lot of times you want to be able to make an informed decision. Is this the next best step in my career? Am I doing the right thing for my family? And does this make sense?
Right. And it's important. The best candidates see it as a conversation. They see it as am I a good fit for the organization? And is the organization a good fit for me? Yep. Rather than just answering questions and seeing if they'll like you or not. It's very much important to you to demonstrate value as well as getting the value and seeing value in that organization as well, because it's all about fit, right? And that's what we do here at Magna Search Group. So question number one, what are the 1 year to 5 year goals for the organization, and where do you see this role how do you see this role supporting those goals? So if you're talking to the direct hiring manager, you can also phrase it as, what are your goals? Where do you see yourself going 1 to 5 years? What do you want to happen in this organization, and how can I help you support this in this role? It's really important to show, that you're not only looking out for number one, looking out for yourself, but you're also interested in seeing where the company is going. 2 shows that you plan to stick around for the long haul, and you just understand, it'll help you better understand how you can help the company.
Totally makes sense. One of the favorite things I always talk to my candidates about is, what are some of the challenges this role will face? So it's effectively looking for a health check on the role. If for example, it's a territory manager responsibility, what's the current state of the accounts of the business? What are the top products that are being sold in these sales channels?
Absolutely.
If you're looking at an operational role, what's the pulse of the team?
Yeah.
Are people happy? Do you have strong retention? Ultimately, by asking what those challenges are, you're going to have some pretty good insight as to what you need to prepare for within your own 30, 60, 90-day plan if you're awarded the position.
Yeah, it'll help you identify things like maybe limits and resources, and it'll give you a better idea of maybe the actual challenges that you'll have going into it.
Yep.
Another thing, what are the success metrics for the job? This is really, really important to know going in, is how, what are the KPIs? How are you going to set up your quarterly plan? So if you have to know what success looks like and how you will be evaluated going forward. Well, we need you to integrate this. We need you to improve this. In quantifiable metrics, it's important to have that and set out your plan, so then going into the job, you're prepared.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Having KPI against the job description, everybody's accountable, and they know the rules of engagement.
Right.
Awesome. I always like to make sure that we're directing the questions about the career path. What is the career path if I join your organization as an account manager? If I'm joining your organization as a district sales manager, look to what other people have done, how they've grown, how they develop. Asking about career development planning, succession planning within an organization. It will allow you to evaluate the upside, the vertical upside in the role, and the direction the company's going. Do they develop their own people? Do they see value in making sure that their people are better tomorrow than they were yesterday?
Yeah, and it shows again that you're there for the long haul. You're interested in career progression, and you're motivated to stick around. Yep. Another one, what have you, Mr. Hiring Manager, Mrs. Hiring Manager, what have you enjoyed most about working here? That's a good one to connect with them on a personal level.
Turn the tables.
Absolutely, turn the tables. Say, what is it about this organization that is great? What do you like? What's good about working here? You're connecting with them. You're also showing maybe issues potentially that you might have in terms of employee satisfaction. If she's or he is right away like, oh, we have a great team. Everything. It's great to see. If they say, oh, it's like sometimes really hard to get the hiring manager's ear. Sometimes the VPs are all jerks, and that's when maybe some red alarms are lighting up. But it's really good. You connect with them. You show that you're bonding bro to bro, ma'am to ma'am, and you're also getting some insight.
Bro to ma'am, maybe. Is that a thing too?
Yeah, ma'am to bro. Yeah.
Ma'am to bro. Right on. It's always important as well to take a bigger picture approach to the questions that you're asking, because you may be an individual contributor, you may be an individual going in for a management role, but maybe understanding what you can do to contribute to the team's success, because ultimately companies that are the most successful have people within a department, within the entire organization, all pulling in the same direction. So asking them a question related to how can I contribute the best to help the team be successful, it would give you a pretty good insight as to the company culture and what they value, not only in yourself, in the people that are already working there.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows that you're not, again, just interested in yourself. And if you have, oftentimes in these interviews, you're going to have your hiring manager from within your department, but also somebody who oversees all the departments. And it shows that you're a team player and not just a team member of your organization. A lot of high-end executives are concerned a little bit about maybe somebody wants to join the marketing team and it becomes the marketing team versus the sales team versus the operations team. Sometimes. It shows, what is the organization's, what are the team's goals, can really help that, and not just your internal team as well.
Communication again, I'm hearing you say this, and it really comes down to having strength in communication in an organization. And your first point of contact with these HR people, it should give you a pretty good idea if they're talking to one another, right?
Absolutely. So next one. So do you offer continuing education and professional training? That shows, because the company, when they hire you, they're investing in you. They want to show that you are interested in being invested into, that you're looking for personal growth, that you're motivated to really better yourself, and that you're passionate about, the industry, perhaps taking classes related to your role, related to the industry.
Yeah, I find a lot of companies are being more progressive on that front, because it allows them to retain. It's a retention strategy for some organizations.
And you'd be surprised, some organizations might not have anything in place, but if you get the CEO's ear and you ask, hey, I want to take this course, you'd be surprised at how often they'll say yes and they'll support you for it.
Well, I agree. I mean, it shows your loyalty to them by actually opening up that dialogue.
Yeah.
And if they invest in you, the human nature element comes into play. You're not going to bag on them. Well, you might, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. I always like to find out as well, when the position was created and how it evolved. Business is a changing dynamic, and a lot of times, you have a written job description that evolves, over the course of your tenure with the organization, whether it's because you're taking on more responsibility or the rules of engagement or the direction from above changes. So understanding how it may have evolved will give you some pretty good insight as to maybe how the organizational structure within a company is being filled out.
Yeah. And if the position is a dead end, and you can also ask as part of that, the previous holder of this position, where are they? Sometimes you're putting the interviewer on the spot a little bit, but it's asking, has this person moved up? What have the responsibilities of this position gone up, or have they gone down, which is always a bad sign. And exactly. If this position has just been static, if people are going in and out of the job, that's not a good sign. But if you're seeing, we've actually, the last person who took on this job took on a lot more responsibility, grew up, moved up within the organization. Now we want somebody to really take that and baton and take it even further from there. That's a great sign.
Yeah, and one thing that I see as well, which I think is interesting, is basically how technology has made the job more efficient.
Yeah.
So part of the evolution of a job is basically using tools to allow an individual contributor to be more successful with the resources available. So seeing how they invest in their infrastructure, that's a really good sign in an organization, I think.
Absolutely. Yep. Next question, and this one is a tough one, and a lot of people aren't going to want to ask it. It's an uncomfortable question, but it can derive a lot of value. Do you have any hesitations about my qualifications for this position? Oh, yeah. So you're putting the interview again on the spot a little bit, but basically what you're doing is you're showing confidence. You're showing that you're open to addressing your weaknesses, and it allows you to address your weaknesses. It allows you to address, maybe they have some hesitations about you that maybe are inaccurate, or something that you can overcome in the interview, and that allows you to really put everything out there. Yep. Maybe they're afraid of saying, we don't think you quite have the experience, but if you can get that out there and you can address it, that puts you in a great position. Yeah.
Because sometimes things can be misinterpreted. I always find that with telephone interviews, I have to caution the candidates that I'm speaking to, because you don't have the benefit of eye contact or body language, and you have people writing stuff down. They're thinking ahead of themselves. So by asking that question, you can offset a potential roadblock by identifying something that may or may not exist as a roadblock in the eyes of the interviewer.
Definitely.
Awesome. The favorite for HR managers is always that intangible skill set. It's about character, it's about integrity, it's about leadership, it's about communication. HR managers love asking those questions of candidates because it's the glue, it's the fabric of who you are and your added value in an organization. Being able to provide real world examples, whether it's from a team environment, examples of your previous work history, or simply, you know, I'm a stand-up guy and I love what I do. Being able to answer those questions genuinely and from the heart, I think, is the best way to go.
Yeah, and it gives you a good idea of sort of the personality type they're looking for in the position. HR managers, that's their bread and butter, right? They understand the values of the organization. They understand the soft and tangible skills that they're looking for. And if you can talk about that and talk about how you really fit, and maybe even identify maybe you're not, you know, it's not the right fit. If, you know, they say we're looking for, you know, somebody who's outgoing, who's going to lead the team, and that's just not you, it's good for you to know that going into it. But ultimately, these are important questions to address with especially the HR managers.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's, the 10 questions today. It's Wednesday. We're on
Wednesday
Big Game Hunters. Check out Friday's Spotlight. We got a great guest coming on. Michael Flint, Landon Hood. Till next time.